day. Nice and cold around here. How about you guys? What's temperatures like around where you're at? Anyway, I got home early today. Had a little mishap, but life is good now. I thought now would be a good time to talk about your wood stove. And for those of you that are starting this journey or going to start, if you're going to heat with wood, or if you're going to heat and cook with wood like we do, you guys might want to stop and think about what you need with your wood stove. What the pros and cons are. What kind of wood are you going to be burning? Hopefully good hardwoods. Hopefully it's nice and dry. But are you going to go with a catalyst wood stove? Or are you going to go with a traditional wood stove? You need to think about these things. But as far as that's concerned, I can tell you the differences between the two a little bit later on. But I'm getting ready to kind of let ours burn down a little bit. I'm getting ready to clean it out. And this is something that not a lot of people talk about, but it's something I feel is very important. Because we heat and cook on our wood stove. So being our only heat source, we got to keep it going all the time. We don't want the house to freeze and lines to bust, and that's all bad stuff. But I'm gonna do a little clean out here. I'm gonna bring you guys along, show you what we got here. So come on with me. I'll show you some of the features that this stove has, and maybe might be something you want to think about and get with your wood stove when you get it. All right, I'm gonna try and do this one-handed. So when it comes to your wood stove, and I told you there's different ones. If you went back to our previous videos, when we were putting all this in, this is a non-catalyst wood stove. This is just none of the fancy stuff, just your traditional wood stove. And actually, I better open a window before I do this. So bear with me here for a second. Okay, we got a little window open now. We don't want to blow any smoke in the house, because it will blow some smoke in the house. Where did I set my poker stick? Oh, I hung it back up. Okay, so some of the features, like I told you guys, the sun's coming in here. Hopefully this will work out real nice. One of the features with our wood stove that some people do and don't have, but something you might want to take into consideration, we're going to move all these nice pretty coals over here to the side, because I don't want to lose my good coals. But down here on the bottom, I just don't have a good place I can set you guys where you can see this. So bear with me here. There's no frills with this. I'm just taking you right along as I do it. We'll do a little bit here. Alright. Now, in our stove, right in here, which I'll try not to get the phone too close to the fire. Oh, looky there. Right in here is a nice little plug. Looky there. Now, that's not something you see every day. What that is, it drops right down in to an ash pan. So this is something that you guys can get. You don't have to get rid of your fire. You don't have to lose all your coals. You can move all your coals to the side. Drop everything right down in this little ash pan here. Sometimes you got to move it over because it'll pile up in one spot. You can clean it real good. Ours is fire brick lined all the way around. Now I'm not going to make you stay here with me while I scoop out the whole stove. But just to give you an idea. And the way they've got this lined out is... Oop, lost a couple little coals there. The way they've got this lined out inside is these fire brick leave a nice little square hole, just perfect. For your little plug to sit down in. There's nothing fancy to it, guys, just a little plug. And then once you got your stove cleaned out, you can put your little plug back in there. I may finish the rest of this later. But after you're done with that, you can move your coals back over here. And then you can put your wood, start your next batch of dry wood right on top of your coals. And life is good. So that's just one nice little thing that some wood stoves have and some don't. Then we'll take this pan after it cools down, because I still got some in there, little embers, but after that pan cools down, we'll carry it outside and we'll put it in with our compost bin. Now the stove's not real hot right now, and I kind of did that on purpose. Another thing that you want to think about when you're getting your wood stove. Some wood stoves had blowers, some don't. This one has an option of a blower, and I did not get one. Our house is roughly 320 square feet, and the stove is rated for 2,500 square feet. As you can imagine, it stays pretty warm in our house. So it wasn't necessarily necessary to get a blower. We have our little heat-powered fan, oscillating fan here that we got from Lehman's. Works great, moves heat around a little bit. Sometimes I'll leave it blow on the wood pile to try and help blow the wood or dry the wood pile out. Because as where we're talking about wood, I have a stack back there in the back that is dry, very dry, matchstick dry. You touch it with a lighter and it goes poof. And I've got a stack here in the front on purpose that's not really wet, but it was split this year. And for us, if I line the bottom of the stove with some good dry stuff and throw a couple big sticks of wet stuff in, it'll last all night long, and we've got a nice bed of coals in the next morning. So I gotta put mine half and half, because if I fill it clear full of dry wood, the matchstick dry stuff that I got, poof, by midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm cold. Also, another thing that you might want to think about, and is this wonderful little jewel back here. This is a cold air intake. That right there takes cold air right from outside, brings it right into the bottom of your stove. Then you control it with your dampener control here, all the way down, wide open. And it keeps from drawing a negative pressure inside the house. So you don't have to leave windows open. You don't have to leave doors cracked. I opened the window a little bit ago because I didn't want a whole bunch of smoke rolling out into the house, because I just flung the door open and started in it. But for running all night long, all day, you just set the dampener, let it go. You don't have to worry about it. You don't have to worry about leaving windows open and snow blowing in, all that other good stuff. Let's see, what else? Catalyst versus non-catalyst. You have to check your area. and check your codes if you're inside of mobile homes, or if you're inside city limits, what the EPA or what your codes recommend to use. We're outside of city limits. We don't need a catalytic stove, so we just went with the traditional. But it is completely fire brick lined. It is a nice tight stove. It's got a nice seal all the way around the inside of the door. And that's the thing. You need a good airtight stove with a good seal. And that's one thing I really liked about this stove. This handle is like a bolt. And if you spin it, it will tighten and loosen. So with this stove, you can latch it and just turn it a little bit and it tightens up and it gets a good seal. Boy, I just can't think of all the things that goes into looking at a stove when you're doing this. Get a good quality stovepipe. Don't go cheap. We did a Duravent stovepipe. We did a triple wall insulated through the wall with a 14-inch thimble. Make sure you get good quality stuff. Don't skimp on the stuff. Tell you what, I'll take you outside so you can see our cold air intake and you can see the triple wall pipe. I'm not going to stay out here for too long because it's freezing cold outside. Anyway, here is our cold air intake that's going into the bottom of the wood stove. And then there is our triple wall insulated pipe. Make sure you guys get good quality stuff when you're doing this. Do not skimp on your wood stoves. Do not skimp. Alright, back in the house. So, like I said, good quality stuff. We cook on ours. And another thing, wood is dry. Wood heat is dry heat. Get you a pan of water. Get a big pan. Get it on the stove and get some of that air. Get some moisture in the air. As you can tell, we did a rough cut poplar on our ceiling. And it wasn't 100% dry when we put it up. But it is so dry. It has split a lot of places, which I'm fine with that. It just adds character. But something else to think about. The wood heat is dry. Make sure you keep a pan of water on there. Make you breathe a little easier. Make sure you got a good quality wood. Good quality wood. Make sure it's dry. Don't be burning wet stuff that you got this year. I know that's kind of hypocritical because I do, but it works best for me. You don't want that creosote built up in that pipe. We run our stove hot enough that my couple pieces of wet stuff that I put in there don't really hurt it. And in your catalyst stoves, I don't believe you can burn anything that's wet. I could be wrong. Make sure you got good split dry wood. So, if you got any other questions, if you got questions about our wood stove, if you got questions about what negative pressure is in the house, if you got questions about the clean out process, one versus the other, leave it in the comments. Let me know. We'll be happy to answer them for you. Angie's got some stuff going on here. I'm still going to do a video on the Berkey. Like I said, had a little issue with electrical today, so the Berkey video is coming. Just whatever, if you take away anything, don't skimp on your wood stove. Spend the time, spend the money, do it right the first time. It works out best every time if you do it right. Don't rush into it. Don't just pick one that looks pretty. We'll use it. Make sure it'll work. Make sure it's the right size. Make sure you have all your clearances. Make sure you got plenty of clearance all the way around in your walls where it's going to be up against. So, if you got any questions, let us know. Leave them in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Thank you all for joining me. We'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.